Think back to the mid-1990s. Professional wrestling was caught in a bizarre tug-of-war between cartoon superheroes and gritty realism. The scripts were predictable, the characters were safe, and everyone played by the rules. Well, almost everyone. Enter a 5'10" powerhouse with a raspy voice, a chaotic grin, and an absolute refusal to let anyone tell him what was real and what was fake. He was a walking, talking stick of dynamite with a lit fuse, and he didn't care who got caught in the blast radius. He was the loose cannon, Brian Pillman. Long before the entire industry shifted into the edgy, rule-breaking attitude era, this one man single-handedly shattered the glass ceiling of what a wrestler was supposed to be. He didn't just push the envelope, he mailed it to a different planet. But how did a former NFL player and a light heavyweight high flyer turn into the most unpredictable, terrifyingly authentic force in television history? How did he manage to trick the smartest executives in the business, pull off the ultimate corporate heist, and change the landscape of sports entertainment forever? Stick around, because we are diving deep into the brilliant, chaotic madness of a man who played the wrestling industry like a cheap fiddle. He left everyone wondering where the performance ended and where the real person began, a question that some people are still trying to answer today. On Wrestling Docs. To understand the madness, you have to look at the method. Before he was waving firearms on live television, Brian Pillman was an elite athlete. He played for the Cincinnati Bengals and excelled in the cruiserweight divisions of World Championship Wrestling. He was crisp, he was fast, and he was a textbook good guy. But being a good textbook wrestler in the 90s meant you got buried under a mountain of giant, hulking characters who could barely move. Pillman realized that playing nice wasn't going to pay the bills, so he decided to change the game entirely. In 1995, he birthed the loose cannon persona. This wasn't just a bad guy turn. This was a complete psychological experiment. Pillman started breaking character on purpose. He attacked commentators, ignored the script, and looked genuinely unhinged. The genius part? He didn't just trick the fans, he tricked his own bosses. He convinced WCW executives that a work-shoot angle, where a fake storyline looks incredibly real, would generate massive buzz. Pillman told Bischoff, "Fire me on television to make it look authentic, and then I'll come back later for a massive payday." Bischoff, thinking he was playing 3D chess, actually signed the release papers. Pillman took those real, legal release papers, walked straight out the door, and immediately took his talents to ECW and the WWF. He literally talked his boss into legally firing him just to prove a point. If that isn't corporate poetry, nothing is. When he arrived in the World Wrestling Federation, he took the chaos to a national scale. Who could forget the infamous November 1996 episode of Monday Night Raw? Stone Cold Steve Austin broke into Pillman's home, and Pillman responded by pulling out a literal firearm on live network television. The feed conveniently went black just as chaos erupted. Fans were horrified, sponsors were screaming, and the executives at USA Network were pulling their hair out. It was messy, it was controversial, and it was absolutely brilliant marketing. Pillman forced the wrestling world to grow up overnight. He proved that fans didn't want polished fairy tales anymore. They wanted raw, unfiltered, unpredictable drama. He paved the golden road that the multi-million-dollar Attitude Era would walk on just a year later. Brian Pillman lived life at 180 miles per hour, leaving an unforgettable mark on the culture we all grew up loving. If you miss the days when television was truly wild and unpredictable, you are exactly where you belong. Take a second to subscribe to the channel right now and hit that follow button so you never miss another deep dive into the moments that shaped our generation. For an even deeper trip down memory lane, head over to upinthepast.com. We are constantly rewinding the best parts of the pop culture, television, and sports history that defined an era. Thanks for watching, keep looking back, and we will see you on the next rewind.
The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better.